video presentation is presented to Professor Renald D. Tupas in partial fulfillment of the requirements in principles, practices, and advanced technologies in breeding agronomic crops. Week 1. In October 4, I do seed germination on my purple since my seeds are only limited and I want to make sure that shortage of seedlings won't happen. Take note, only half of the total purple seeds undergo seed germination and half will be direct to plant. At the same date, I do the land preparation so that when the land prep finished, my seedlings were ready to plant. On October 7, it is now the time to plant the seedlings from the tissue and half were direct to plant. After planting, I applied urea and watered the plant. And from October 8 to 10, it's just a normal day in field, like you will only gonna do is to water the plants. 2. In whole week 2, it's still just a normal day, just like watering only the plants. Plus, in October 14, I planted my white corns or my female plants. Actually, I really didn't notice that the interval is 10 days, since October 4 for purple and October 14, I thought it was only 7 days since I started to plant it in soil was on October 7. In week 3. In whole week, I only do was removing weeds, watering the plants, if it did not rain. But on the last day of week 3, it rained strong. Since I only rented the space and I'm not familiar with the place, I didn't know that the area was the stock-up of water. First plot get flooded, some in second and third plot. So I replanted some of it in some areas in the lot, even though it cannot reach full sunlight. I also make wall of seeds in the gate so that the rainwater from outside cannot enter easily. Week 4. After that day, I decided to plant peanuts. The fact that it complements in corn, I also found out in my research that flooding causes the plant to lower its nitrogen level, so I just assure that my corn will survive and would not lack in nitrogen. In this week, I also applied urea, the nitrogen, and also watered the plant if it did not rain. Normal day in field, I water the plants if there's no rain, and the peanuts started to germinate, and the corn grow also. I did weeding, a grasshopper. Since I saw only one, I just catch it and kill. On November 9, I started to apply or what we call fermented fruit juice. Even though it was made 8 months ago, I think there is still nutrients available on it to at least fertilize the soil and plants. Also, I removed the excess plants since I planted 2 corn seeds per hole. In week 7, there's nothing special happens. An ordinary week, but you can observe that the plant really grow. Week 8, 24, it was the first appearance of tassel from a purple corn, and after a day, there were also another 2 tassel appear. Aside from that, it's just a normal week. And last November 25, I bought urea and potash and used it after a day. So a corn's tassel. So I wanted to maximize the nutrient capacity of the corns to help it in producing fruits. Number 29, the tassel bloom. I decided to buy paper bags and I put it on December. On December 3, I collected pollens from one of the tassels and stored it in a Tupperware. Week 10. In this week, the scales appeared and I followed the tips on the video given in the PDF on how to grow the silk faster. When I cut it with scissor, I was shocked that there is already a flesh and the result is on the right. In December 7, I observed that the pollen that I stuck has already molts. From day to day in this week, there were silks appeared. In this day, also, the first tassel of a white corn showed and cutted the tassel immediately. There were also many tassels bloomed, so I put again paper bags on the tassels because I thought it would not rain since it was sunny that day. But it turns out that I was mistaken. My main intention of doing it is not because I wanted to stock pollen in the paper bag on the field until the silk appears, but to store it on paper bags in my room since it is really impossible to store it on the field because it rained most of the time. Pollen will be wasted. I regretted it since all of them get molded and I put paper bag almost in all tassels available. In December 12, it was my first breeding experience. I cannot record the video well because I don't have a cell phone stand yet. Week 11. In week 11, I discovered that the survived white corn plants that I replanted were tasseling, so I cutted those. In week 12, on December 22, 2020, there were so many tassels of white corn appeared. And since I do have a cell phone stand now, I recorded on how tall my white corns and when I cutted the tassels, even if I used tall chair, it is still not enough.
Labay ra puto nimo.
Week 13. there is still another batch of tassels appeared. I did not cut it since it is so high and I can't reach it. I also decided to take a sample of purple corn if it is ready to harvest. Week 14. On January 4, I harvested corns that are fully matured already. Actually, I have 3 record videos with different plot, but it is the only one that was saved. I harvested 34 purple corns, including the no kernel corns, and 2 F1. As I observed in F1, there were some purple spots found, but since the color purple did not really overpower the white color on those kernels, so I did not consider it as a success breed. On January 6, I harvested the F1 and white corns. Even though the fruits were still too young, I still harvested it because the deadline was near. Sad to say that the graded corns failed because all kernels are white in color and you cannot see any purple kernel. During my harvest time, I discovered some instances that I never experienced to happen every time I planted corn. I saw 2 white corns that instead of growing silk, it grew branches. I also saw the corn that I cutted the growing part because I thought it is a silk before, but it grows again, and on that day, it produces tassel again even if I already cutted it last December. And in addition, it finally produced silk but on the other part. These are my harvest in white corn and in F1. On that day also, I filled up the tables on crop hybridization in corn except the 14% moisture because I don't have weighing scale on crops. due to the strong winds and rains on the following days, I only had the chance to weigh it on January 8th at the tissue culture laboratory. I weighed 10 purple corns, 8 F1, and only 3 out of 10 white corns get weighed because the kernels of the other white corns was hard to remove because the kernels are still immature when I tried to remove it. It gets squeezed and produced milky substance. And also, it did not reach in 100 kernels. All in all, even though my experiment is a failure, I learned a lot and discovered so many things. And one day, if I ever have a chance to breed corn again, I know now what to do.